Our mindset is the lens through which we view the world, and it has the extraordinary power to shape our reality. Muniba Mazari often reminds us that the first step to success begins not in the external world, but within our own minds. The thoughts we nurture, the beliefs we hold, and the way we speak to ourselves directly influence our actions, our decisions, and ultimately, the outcomes we achieve. Training your brain for success starts with understanding that your mind is not just a tool. It is the foundation on which your entire life is built. Every thought you allow to linger has a ripple effect. When your mind dwells on doubt, fear, or self-criticism, it quietly dictates your choices. It makes challenges seem larger, obstacles seem insurmountable, and dreams feel distant. On the other hand, when you cultivate a mindset rooted in growth, resilience, and positivity, even the most daunting challenges become opportunities. Every setback becomes a lesson, and every dream becomes attainable. Muniba's life is a testament to this truth. Despite facing unimaginable circumstances, she trained her mind to see possibility, not limitation, and in doing so, she transformed adversity into inspiration. Your mindset also determines how you respond to failure. Life will inevitably challenge you, and setbacks are unavoidable. But it is the mind that decides whether those setbacks will break you or build you. A success-oriented mindset interprets failure not as a reflection of worth, but as a stepping stone toward growth. Muniba often says that the mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant fear and doubt, that is what will flourish. If you plant hope, resilience, and determination, you create the conditions for success. The power of mindset extends beyond overcoming challenges. It affects how you approach daily life. Every action, every decision, every interaction is influenced by the mental patterns you have trained over time. When you nurture optimism and self-belief, your brain begins to recognize opportunities that others might overlook. Your focus sharpens, your creativity expands, and your confidence strengthens. This is not magic, it is the result of consistently choosing thoughts that align with your goals and values. Muniba Mazari emphasizes that small, deliberate changes in thinking can create monumental shifts in your life. Training your brain for success also requires awareness. You must observe your thoughts without judgment, noticing when negativity creeps in, and consciously redirecting your focus. This is not about denying reality or pretending life is perfect. It is about refusing to let limiting beliefs dictate your path. Every time you catch yourself thinking, "I can't," or "this is impossible," you have an opportunity to retrain your mind to say, "I am capable," or "I will find a way." Each of these moments compounds over time, gradually rewiring your brain to default toward empowerment rather than doubt. Mindset is further strengthened by daily habits. The words you speak to yourself, the stories you tell yourself about your abilities, and the mental images you hold about your future all contribute to shaping your brain. Visualization, affirmations, and reflection are powerful tools that signal to your mind what you value and what you are capable of achieving. Muniba Mazari's own journey illustrates that a disciplined mind, trained through consistent mental practice, can overcome physical limitations, societal expectations, and personal fears. Ultimately, mindset is not just a part of success, it is the cornerstone of it. When you choose to nurture positive, growth-oriented thoughts, you set in motion a chain reaction that transforms challenges into opportunities, fear into courage, and dreams into reality. Your brain becomes your ally, working tirelessly to guide you toward your highest potential. Every thought you cultivate, every belief you reinforce, and every mental habit you form shapes not only your present but also the future you are creating. Success begins in the mind, and when your mindset is trained with intention, clarity, and resilience, the world begins to shift in response. Muniba Mazari teaches us that your thoughts are not just reflections of life, they are the architects of it. By choosing your mindset consciously, You take control of your reality, and every step you take becomes a step closer to the life you aspire to build. Negative thoughts are natural, but they do not have to define your life. Every mind experiences doubt, fear, or self-criticism. Yet success comes to those who actively choose to reframe these thoughts into empowering beliefs. Muniba Mazari often emphasizes that our brains are wired to respond to patterns. If we repeatedly focus on limitations, our mind begins to accept them as reality. But the remarkable truth is that the brain is also incredibly adaptable. With intention and practice, you can rewire it to focus on possibilities, strengths, and growth, creating a mindset that propels you towards success. Rewiring negative thinking begins with awareness. You must notice the thoughts that undermine your confidence or create unnecessary worry. Perhaps it's the inner voice that says, "I'm not good enough," or the fear that, "I'll never achieve this." The first step is acknowledging these thoughts without judgment, understanding that they are not facts, but habitual patterns that can be changed. Muniba teaches that the moment you recognize a limiting thought is the moment you gain the power to replace it. Once you identify negative thinking, the next step is deliberate replacement with empowering beliefs. This is not about pretending that challenges don't exist or that life is perfect. Instead, it's about consciously choosing to focus on what you can control, what you can improve, and what opportunities lie ahead. For example, transforming "I can't handle this" into "I am learning and growing through this challenge" shifts the brain's focus from limitation to possibility. Each time you do this, you reinforce new neural pathways, gradually making empowering thoughts the default response. Affirmations and positive self-talk are powerful tools in this process. Repeating statements that align with your goals and values signals to your brain that these beliefs are true. Muniba Mazari often shares that even in moments of difficulty, reminding herself of her capabilities and purpose helped her persevere. Over time, these affirmations create resilience, boost confidence, and reduce the influence of self-doubt. The mind begins to focus on solutions rather than problems, on growth rather than setbacks, and on action rather than fear. Visualization also strengthens the brain's ability to embrace empowering beliefs. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, achieving your goals, or handling challenges with grace, your brain begins to treat those images as familiar and achievable. Neural pathways are activated, making your mind more prepared to take the actions necessary to turn those visualizations into reality. Muniba's life demonstrates this beautifully. She trained her mind to see possibility even in the face of adversity, creating the mental foundation for real life success and influence. Another critical aspect of rewiring the brain is surrounding yourself with positivity. The people you interact with, the content you consume, and the habits you practice all influence your thought patterns. Engaging with uplifting messages, inspiring stories, and supportive communities reinforces empowering beliefs. Conversely, exposure to negativity, criticism, or toxic environments strengthens limiting patterns. By consciously curating your mental environment, you create fertile ground for your new, positive mindset to flourish. Lastly, rewiring the brain is not instantaneous. It requires consistency, patience, and compassion for yourself. Negative thoughts will still arise, but each time you consciously redirect them, you strengthen the neural pathways of empowerment. Over time, the brain becomes naturally inclined toward confidence, resilience, and possibility. Muniba Mazari teaches that this mental discipline is the key to turning potential into achievement and dreams into reality. By transforming negative thinking into empowering beliefs, you train your brain to be an ally rather than an obstacle. Your mind shifts from self-doubt to self-belief, from fear to courage, and from limitation to opportunity. Every thought you choose to reframe strengthens the foundation for success, shaping your reality in profound ways. When you consistently practice this, your brain becomes a tool for achievement, guiding you toward a life defined not by fear, but by possibility, purpose, and unstoppable growth. Cultivating focus and mental discipline is essential for turning dreams into reality. The brain, much like a muscle, grows stronger and sharper with consistent training. Muniba Mazari emphasizes that success is rarely the result of fleeting inspiration. It comes from the deliberate, focused effort applied consistently over time. Distractions, procrastination, and scattered attention weaken the brain's ability to perform at its highest level. By developing focus and discipline, you train your mind to operate with clarity, resilience, and purpose, making every minute a step toward your goals. Focus begins with intention. You must decide what truly matters to you and prioritize your energy accordingly. In a world full of noise, notifications, and endless demands, it's easy to be pulled in countless directions. But the disciplined mind knows how to set boundaries, say no to what doesn't serve the goal, and channel energy into meaningful actions. Muniba teaches that protecting your attention is as important as protecting your time, because where your attention goes, your energy and results follow. Mental discipline is developed through consistent practice and self-control. It's the ability to resist immediate gratification in favor of long-term growth. It's showing up every day, even when motivation is low, and pushing forward despite discomfort or fatigue. Muniba Mazari's journey illustrates this principle clearly. Despite enormous challenges, she cultivated habits of persistence, learning, and resilience. Her discipline allowed her to focus on what she could control and to steadily build the life she envisioned, one intentional action at a time. Another key aspect of focus and mental discipline is managing your internal dialogue. The mind is often its own greatest distractor, filling your thoughts with doubt, fear, or unnecessary criticism. Training your brain involves recognizing these thoughts, redirecting them toward constructive solutions, and maintaining concentration on your priorities. This conscious effort strengthens your mental endurance and enables you to tackle complex tasks with confidence and clarity. Consistency compounds over time. When you practice focus daily, even in small ways, you build the neural pathways that make attention and discipline your natural state. Simple practices such as dedicating time blocks for deep work, minimizing distractions, and setting clear goals for each session train your brain to operate efficiently. Muniba Mazari often emphasizes that the key is not perfection, but steady, intentional effort. Progress made through repeated action strengthens both your mind and your results. Focus and discipline also enhance decision-making. A trained mind is less likely to be swayed by impulses, peer pressure, or short-term distractions. Instead, it evaluates situations clearly, chooses the path aligned with long-term goals, and executes decisions decisively. Muniba teaches that mental discipline transforms uncertainty and overwhelm into clarity and action. The brain becomes a tool for strategy rather than a playground for indecision or hesitation. Ultimately, cultivating focus and mental discipline empowers you to harness your full potential. It allows you to transform intention into action, ideas into results, and dreams into reality. The more you train your mind to concentrate, persevere, and remain resilient, the more your efforts compound into meaningful success. Muniba Mazari's life proves that with focused determination and disciplined thought, even the most difficult circumstances can be overcome, and the most ambitious goals can be achieved. When your brain is trained to focus and act with discipline, distractions lose their power, doubts lose their grip, and every minute becomes a building block for your future. This mental strength is not just a skill, it is the foundation of a life defined by achievement, purpose, and unstoppable growth. Practicing visualization and goal-oriented thinking is a powerful way to train your brain for success. Muniba Mazari often emphasizes that the mind works best when it knows exactly what it is aiming for. Success is first imagined before it is achieved. When you clearly visualize your goals, Rehearse the path to reaching them in your mind, and align your thoughts with your desired future. You prepare your brain to recognize opportunities, overcome obstacles, and take decisive action. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It is intentional mental practice that strengthens the neural pathways required for achievement. Visualization begins with clarity. You must be specific about what you want to accomplish. The brain responds to vivid images and detailed mental scenarios. When you picture yourself achieving a goal, whether it's delivering a presentation confidently, completing a project successfully, or transforming your life, your mind begins to treat that scenario as a real possibility. Muniba teaches that these mental rehearsals create familiarity and confidence, making it easier for your brain to execute the actions necessary to turn the vision into reality. Goal-oriented thinking ensures that your actions are aligned with your aspirations. The brain functions optimally when it has a clear target. By setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, you provide your mind with direction and purpose. Every thought, decision, and action can then be filtered through the lens of whether it serves your objectives. This alignment reduces wasted energy and strengthens your focus, allowing you to make consistent progress even amidst distractions or challenges. Visualization also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, your mental images of success serve as motivation to persevere. They remind you of what is possible and why the effort is worthwhile. Muniba Mazari's life exemplifies this principle. Even in the face of adversity, she held clear visions of the impact she wanted to make and the life she wanted to live. These mental images provided the fuel to keep moving forward, turning obstacles into stepping stones rather than barriers. Regular practice enhances the brain's capacity to act confidently. When you visualize success, your brain develops neural patterns similar to those used in actual performance. This mental rehearsal prepares you emotionally and cognitively, reducing anxiety and increasing efficiency when real-life action is required. The more you engage in visualization, the more your brain internalizes the belief that your goals are attainable, and your confidence grows naturally. Visualization and goal-oriented thinking also foster problem-solving. When you imagine the steps needed to achieve a goal, anticipate potential challenges, and mentally rehearse solutions, you prepare your brain to respond proactively in real situations. Muniba Mazari teaches that this proactive mindset transforms uncertainty into strategy and obstacles into opportunities. It allows your mind to act decisively and creatively rather than reactively. Ultimately, visualization and goal-oriented thinking turn abstract dreams into tangible plans. They train your brain to recognize what success looks like, focus on the actions that lead there, and persist despite difficulties. By practicing these techniques consistently, you align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your highest aspirations, creating a mental blueprint that guides you naturally toward achievement. When combined with focus, discipline, and a positive mindset, visualization transforms your brain into a powerful engine of success. Muniba Mazari's life demonstrates that imagining your goals with clarity and aligning every thought and action toward them is not wishful thinking. It is a deliberate strategy that turns dreams into reality. Your mind becomes a navigator, your vision becomes the map, and every deliberate action moves you closer to the life you aspire to live. Embracing continuous learning and growth is the final, yet perhaps the most vital, step in training your brain for success. The mind thrives when it is challenged, curious, and exposed to new ideas. Muniba Mazari often emphasizes that success is not a destination but a journey of constant evolution. Those who stop learning, stop growing, and ultimately limit the potential of their minds. A brain committed to learning is agile, adaptable, and equipped to overcome challenges while seizing opportunities that others may overlook. Continuous learning begins with curiosity. A mind that asks questions, explores possibilities, and seeks knowledge becomes naturally more innovative and resourceful. Muniba teaches that challenges are opportunities to expand your understanding, and setbacks are lessons waiting to be discovered. Each new skill acquired, each new perspective considered, and each book read or experience lived is a building block in the architecture of your success. The more you feed your mind with growth, the more resilient and capable it becomes. Growth also requires reflection. Learning is not just about accumulating information, but about integrating it into your life in a meaningful way. Every experience, every mistake, and every victory holds a lesson if you take the time to reflect. Muniba Mazari's own life demonstrates that reflection transforms hardship into wisdom. By pausing to understand what works, what doesn't, and how to improve, your brain becomes better equipped to make strategic choices and avoid repeating past errors. Another essential aspect of continuous growth is adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and challenges are inevitable. A brain trained to learn is a brain that can adjust. Muniba emphasizes that resilience comes from being open to change and ready to acquire new skills, new knowledge, and new ways of thinking. Those who cling rigidly to old habits or outdated knowledge risk stagnation, while those who embrace learning stay ahead, evolve, and thrive in any circumstance. Surrounding yourself with growth-oriented influences further amplifies learning. Muniba Mazari often highlights the importance of mentors, inspiring communities, and positive content. Engaging with people and resources that challenge and inspire you stimulates the mind, sparks creativity, and fosters the discipline to continue improving. Continuous learning is not passive, it requires active engagement and a commitment to expanding your horizons. Importantly, a commitment to growth fosters humility and self-awareness. Recognizing that there is always more to learn encourages openness, patience, and persistence. It reminds you that success is not about perfection but progress, the small, steady improvements that compound over time. Muniba's life teaches us that the pursuit of knowledge, skills, and personal development is not only a path to success, but a way to inspire and uplift others along the journey. Ultimately, embracing continuous learning and growth transforms your brain into a dynamic engine of potential. It keeps you flexible, resilient, and equipped to face life's challenges with confidence and creativity. Each new insight, skill, or perspective shapes your decisions, refines your mindset, and accelerates your progress toward your goals. Muniba Mazari's message is clear: the brain is not fixed, it can expand, adapt, and excel when nurtured with knowledge, reflection, and a commitment to growth. When you combine continuous learning with focus, discipline, visualization, and a positive mindset, your brain becomes an unstoppable force. You are no longer merely reacting to life, you are actively shaping it. Every minute becomes an opportunity to grow, every challenge a lesson, and every goal a stepping stone. By embracing lifelong learning, you ensure that your mind remains sharp, your potential limitless, and your journey towards success relentless and extraordinary.